Brad, what do you
How
feel
do
like?
you go about stopping a guy like Arch Manning in a Texas offense?
Yeah, a huge challenge. Like he's playing really well. I don't think people realize, what he's doing, how he's operating. And every game's been sort of a little bit different. And I think he's handled it great. He's taken some big hits. He's extended plays with his legs. He gets up. He's made some really big time throws. Obviously, the arm strength and there's no issues there. That I think one of the big plays in that OU game, when they're backed up and he hits that 7 cut on the sideline. I mean that's a pro level throw, and so no, we understand that the huge challenge that he presents. In that whole offense, with the speed they have at wideout and the talent in the backfield, and 5 had a huge game out of the backfield. In OU makes big runs, big catches. The tight ends get involved. So, everybody at every level of the defense has to be on Saturday.
Marcus talked to you guys about B.J. Waller was kind of chomping at the bit to get back and frustrated in that process. What are you seeing from him as he works back in the line?
Yeah, I think the same idea. He's chomping. He really wants to go. He had a really good off season, and he's really been itching to get out there and show what he can do. Been trending in the right direction this week, and so we'll see how it goes on Saturday.
How would his return affect your perimeter tackling that Mark's kind of been talking about?
Well, we'll see, right? Like, one, whoever's out there on the perimeter, whether it be a corner, a safety, you've got to be able to execute that tackle. And it's not just on the corners. I know the Ole Miss game, in the first half with the hitches, it was. But you think about the Georgia game, it came at every level. It came from the safety position running inside out, the linebackers running inside out on bubble screens. And so everybody's got to do a good job. But obviously DJ being a long body, he's strong out there. You would hope that he'd be a contributor out there if they wanted to stress the perimeter, in terms of the run game or the pass game from a screen or a hitch. So, but we'll see.
Coach, what kind of challenges does a guy like Trey Wisner present to your defense?
Yeah, I mean he can run the ball. He was tough inside. The big run that I think really got everything going. They had an unblocked runner inside on a slant stunt that he ran through that tackle, and a really good player whose tackle he ran through and was able to get to the second level and then into the third and really get momentum and get things going for him. And then a couple of plays on third down, where they're trying to play him, with the DB out of the roof, and he's got a little bit of space and he makes that DB miss, and extends drives. So again, he can do it with the ball in his hand in the run game. He can do it, in the pass game, a lot like Jaden Blue last year for him.
What did you learn about your group, or maybe work on specifically throughout the bye week?
Yeah, I don't know, if it was anything sort of learned. It was more worked on, right? Like we've been learning about ourselves through these first 5 games and in areas that we need to work on. Obviously, tackling has been an emphasis, and the one thing with tackling is you can practice it, you can drill it, but there's so much that has to happen on game day that they've got to be confident enough to, in a drill, right? If I mess up, like, it's not a touchdown. If it's on Saturday and I mess up, it can be a touchdown, it can be a first down, it can be a big play. So trying to add stress within a drill, where there is repercussions, where there is consequences, in finding ways to add stressors, I think that's an important thing, and it's what we keep trying to do and find ways.
Anybody else?
Texas's receiving core maybe has not so far lived up to the expectations of past seasons. What kinds of conversations are you having with your secondary in preparation?
They better be ready. They're long, they can run, they're fast, they can get explosive, they can get downhill in a hurry. No, they understand the challenge that we're about to face. They between Wingo, between Zero, 13's a really good player, made some huge catches, the touchdown in Ohio State. Florida made the big catch, and then I think 3 with Mosley coming back gives them another dimension and another added piece. 17. Then you throw the tight ends in their screen game, and there's a lot of ways they can stress you, and they can stress you really deep, and they can get you all the way to their screen game behind the line of scrimmage, do tight end delay screens, running back delay screens. So you just never feel comfortable. Coach Sark does an unbelievable job of mixing play calls and trying to keep you off balance as a defense.
Brad, I talked about confidence, Coach Confidence Egg on the coach's show last week. Have you just seen your defense respond just when you're trying to build them up this week going into this game?
You know what? It's a hard thing to answer from the fact that I've loved their energy this week. They haven't been dauber down, head down. There's really as good energy as we've had all season going into a game. So there, I'm really pleased. I hope that translates to confidence, and you hope that it's not fake. You hope that it's not just fake bravado, that it's true belief in themselves and understanding that, hey, listen, as a coaching staff, we've got their back. If they make a mistake, make it full speed. Don't sit back in a chair. Go, run through tackles and see what happens. And so I really can't answer that until, after Saturday night, and I can tell you how confident they played.
Brad, I think Arch may have the most rushing yards for them right now, but he's not really considered like a scrambling dual threat.
Then you haven't watched the film.
Well, people think of him arm first, when you have Manning on the back of your jersey.
Yeah, but even last year, when you think about it, right, when they had Quinn and Ewers there, right, that it was, hey, Manning, Arch adds an extra dimension, right? When he came in and he started those 3 games and he pulled and he had a 60-something yard run, I can't remember which team it was, Rice or somebody like that, and he ran big, and then he played Mississippi State and he made some plays with his legs, and they're like, man, look at the added dimension. That's what he brings. It may, it may not move like Lamar, but you watch him outrun guys at Ohio State. You watch him outrun guys at Florida. You watch him outrun guys at Oklahoma. He's got wheels. He's got the ability to make you miss. He can extend plays, and then obviously he's got the arm strength that once he extends a play, if he doesn't want to take off and a receiver breaks late, he's able to hit it down the field. So, there's a huge emphasis on what he can do with his legs.
Okay, folks, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Has been great. You gotta make it the best out of the situations, and I've experienced this before. But the one thing you can't do is break, and a lot of people are gonna expect us to break, and I don't think that we are anytime soon. And I just think that we have a very solid group of leaders and just a very solid group of people and coaches. So I'm not really too worried, and the vibes are just phenomenal.
What's the key in doing that when there is negativity outside? I'm sure you guys hear going to class or whatever.
Well, when there's negativity, you kind of just gotta plug it because it spreads. And then so of course there'll be negativity on the sidelines. People get heated, but you just gotta grab your buddy and just tell everything's gonna be okay. Just push through it.
What are you seeing from Texas? What stands out about that?
I think they have a good O-line. They run outside zone just really well. It's nothing that we can't handle up front. Arch is good, and they run just a really good scheme. So,
David, Coach White talked last week just about keeping the confidence up and just keeping everybody, in the fight. How do you feel like the defense as a whole, how are they doing, going into this game after kind of the rough start?
Going to this game, I think that because especially coming off a bye week, I think that we are prepared, and like the defense has basically gone like together like outside this too, and then we just really just like needed to stay solid. But overall, like our chemistry and just everybody just really just holding firm.
There's been a lot of focus on tackling issues, especially on the perimeter. How do you guys address that in practice, or is it possible to address it in practice?
See that I don't really know too much, so I can't really speak on that. But I know it's getting addressed. Like we got tackling circuits, so that's all I could probably say on that.
How much do you have to be aware of Arch Manning's legs and what he can do to extend plays? And
like the kid fast. But you gotta keep him in like the pocket. You gotta be disciplined in like your rushes, and that's all you really can do. You just gotta be disciplined, because with someone with like speed, you just gotta be like just aware of it, especially like QB draws and just stuff like that.
Does it jump out at you guys when you watch the film and just his ability to move around?
I would say it's just like any other quarterback who was just like quick, like based South Carolina, just anything like basically you get in this league, you got quarterbacks who can run the ball, so like it's nothing new.
What's the anticipation like when you're coming off a bye week and you've got a ranked opponent that you know is like looming in the future? You have a little extra time to think about it.
I think anytime that we get like a bye week and just another week of like preparation, it just really helps. Ranked opponent or not, it doesn't really matter who like we play. It could be Eastern Michigan again, like it doesn't really matter. We could be playing Georgia again. It doesn't matter really who it is. Like a number is just a number, and I'm just really excited to just go out there.
Everybody good?
All right, thank you guys.
All right. What do you have to say about the younger guys' performance while DJ Waller was out?
Yeah, that's always a question mark. You never really know until they get out there. And so it's been a process, and every year is different in that regard. Like you go into the season with a plan and then you got to adjust it. And so the guys done a good job so far of adjusting it. And we got to continue to do that, continue to trust the process, and continue to develop throughout the season.
So what are the keys to winning this weekend?
The keys to winning, we got to have one more point than they do. That's the key. You got me? But to do that, we got to do a great job of communicating. They have a phenomenal offense. Coach Sarkisian does a great job with those guys in terms of offensive system. They got a lot of weapons, and so we got to be on our P's and Q's and go execute and play passionately with our hair on fire. And so we do those things, and we're excited about the outcome.
What kind of stress does it put on the secondary where Arch can move around, extend plays, just make you kind of cover guys for longer?
Yeah, anytime you got to cover guys longer in the down makes it tough. You got a mobile quarterback, and the thing about Arch is he does a good job of keeping his eyes downfield. He's not scrambling to take off and run. He's scrambling to pass the ball a lot of the time. And so, again, it's something that we stress throughout practice, and we got to do a great job of eye control throughout the game.
On offense, there's a trend of bringing up younger guys and letting them have their moment. Is there anyone on defense that's younger right now that we might not be paying attention to that is coming up, doing well, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I feel like we got a lot of young guys out there who are doing some good stuff. Again, Teron Nichols is a guy that's young, but he's played some snaps, and I think he's continued to grow. But we got a lot of guys who have stepped into those roles, and we're excited about them continuing to do that.
Chris, Coach White talked like coaching confidence last week on the radio show for Coach Stoops. Just what have you seen from your group, and just where are they at, I guess, from that after the kind of, I guess, rough start?
You said the coaching confidence?
Yeah, just like keeping the confidence up of the team.
Yeah, so really what we did is we went back to a lot of fundamentals, getting back and not just worrying about schemes, more so of, hey man, how are we playing the position across the board? And I think that helps those guys, again, when they're fairly young, of understanding how important those fundamentals are, and when you can focus in and hone back in on those, it helps them build that confidence, in terms of going out there and executing those fundamentals regardless of play call, and so that's what we spent a lot of time on last week, and I think you saw that energy from the guys of seeing, okay, let me get back to the basics,
Do you think that like the tackling circuits and focusing on those, I guess, during the bye week, how much do you think that can help?
Oh, tremendously. Like, again, the bye gives you a chance to get healthy, and it gives you a chance to really focus on some of those fundamentals that you may not always have the time in practice to be able to do when you're truly locked in for an opponent. We were able to get ahead as well, but again, focusing on some of those fundamentals, I think definitely pay dividends coming out of a bye.
Thank you.
you get
I just think it's a new day every single day. I mean, obviously, no matter how good or how bad we play, there's always improvements. And I feel like at the end of the day, everyone individually wants to, make an improvement in their game. So, I mean, at the end of the day, we just look forward just to coming out here and just, playing a kid's game at the end of the day. We all grew up playing this game and we love it. So, why not just continue just to do it and learn from it?
You got a guy like Arch Manning who can throw it, he can also use his legs, and he's got some weapons with some speed. So how do you guys go about stopping that?
Really just knowing our game plan at the end of the day, coming in confident with our game plan, and I feel like we did a lot of preparation this week just to be confident when we step onto that field on Saturday and really just executing our jobs. We ain't got to do no one else's job, just do your job and everything's going to take care of itself.
Todd, there's been a lot of focus on tackling, especially on the perimeter. How much can you all address that in practice, or is that just something you got to do better in games?
Nah, we definitely got to address that better in practice. And Coach White, he talks about it all the time. Like, we got so many times where, we're running to fit an alley and scout team guy cuts back, or even our own offense cuts back, and he talks about like, a lot of times he hears that, oh, I'll make it in game, but it's not like that, you know what I'm saying? So you just got to continue just to, build reps on it in practice and stuff like that, do the little things like a long stride, short stride, and then throw them up in practice, and at the end of the day, in the game, it's going to, pay off.
How much would it mean to the team and the players to kind of be able to give the fans something to feel good about, in the stadium against an SEC team?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at the end of the day, it would give our fans a lot more confidence. Obviously, we're confident at the end of the day, but I mean, our fan base, even if they're like, lacking hope or something like that, I just feel like, give them that little spark, it just turn them right back around to us. And then for the rest of the year, we have mojo just to build off of.
What gives you confidence you guys are going to get the defensive issues fixed and see the kind of defense you want to be?
Because of the practice we've been having. I feel like this week of preparation has been probably one of the best weeks that we've had all year, since like really camp, honestly. I mean, Coach White said the best, like he feels like there's so much energy and passion when we step onto this field this week, and I just feel like that's really just going to help us over on the game on Saturday.
Do you think that was because maybe you all had a bye week and maybe got to work on some things you were struggling with in the bye week?
Probably, but I think we just all kind of just had a meeting, like a unit meeting, and we kind of just talked about bringing the joy back into the game. There's so much we got class, people have life, things going on, but sometimes pressure can build on someone's shoulders. But Coach White just told us, just go out there and just have fun. And I feel like the fun piece was lacking. And obviously, I mean, it might be lacking because we're losing. You know what I'm saying? No one wants to lose. But at the end of the day, just come out here and just play the game that we all love and we all enjoy. And I feel like this week we've done a better job of doing that. And I mean, even when we're making plays, offense and defense and special teams, we're all rallying behind each other. I mean, somebody caught a pick today and took it to the crib, and all of us were right behind them. So, just little things like that, I feel like it will help us.
What's it mean for the secondary and your spot with a mobile quarterback that can extend plays like Arch does and move around really well?
Just flash or stay on our guys. I mean, if we try to get too nosy and too peaky, see what he's got going on. He's still behind the line of scrimmage. He can throw it. I mean, shoot, like you said, he has a strong arm. He has a strong arm. He can throw from multiple angles. So just staying on our guys, staying plastered, and letting the guys that's up front handle that.
Does that when you're going up against that name too, does that mean anything to a defender when you're playing against a Manning?
Negative. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, at the end of the day, he got to come out here and he got to prove himself just like I got to prove myself, and he got to lace on his cleats and come out here on Saturday night the same way I do. So, yeah, it don't mean anything, honestly.
All right.
Thank you, guys.